Hello and welcome to round 15 of the AFL Oddities for the 2025 season. I'm trying to get to 20,000 subscribers by grand final day. At this rate, I'm not going to do it, so if you're new to the channel and you like this sort of content, please do make sure that you subscribe. After Jed Walters gets a free kick for a high contact, he goes back and he sort of just walks in, doesn't take his run up. I'm sure this isn't his usual style. And he's just so relaxed with the kick. He leans back on it and just look, he's completely shanked it. I reckon this might be one of the worst misses I've seen in a very, very long time. How's this for a double oddity? After Atkins takes a mark, he takes too long to get rid of the ball. The umpire calls play on and he doesn't see Hipwood coming from behind him. Lays the tackle, holding the ball. Hugh McCluggage picks up the ball and tries to take advantage. He sort of hesitates and then stops, and then he also gets run down. That is two holding the balls in about 5 seconds. It's the literal definition of a double oddity.
Hugh McCluggage, there's no need to play on. There's no options ahead of the ball. Just allow the free kick to unfold. Take the time off the clock.
After the ball is tapped down, Nick Dacos gets the ball and he goes for the handball back to his ruckman, who's not expecting the handball, and he just hits him square in the face. Luckily, we got the second camera angle and we can see him get hit in the face twice. I reckon this call here by the umpire is absolutely shocking. After you see Quaynor's not able to take the mark, Dan Butler gets the ball and Quaynor tackles him almost immediately, and Dan Butler's unable to take the kick, sort of just drops down to the ground. The umpire's actually paid a holding free against Quaynor on Dan Butler. Looked like Butler had clean possession of the ball. He tried to kick it mid-tackle, and the tackle didn't linger too much longer after he disposed of the ball, illegally I might add. Yet the umpire saw that this was a free kick to Dan Butler. Butler went back and kicked the goal. After McGrath takes possession of the ball, he kicks it inside his forward 50, and what a game this Nate Caddy had. This probably was the best game he's had of his very young career. He's only 19 years old. You just got to love it when these young guns stand up and absolutely deliver. After Zerha snaps around the body, he's probably only 30 metres out. He didn't kick it very well, didn't have the distance, but it goes to the goal line and Wiedering saves the ball by trying to spoil it so it doesn't go through for a goal. But unfortunately he's put it back into the field of play where Nick Larkey just picks the ball up and kicks it over his shoulder with two of the Carlton defenders just sitting there watching. That would have been a very frustrating game for you Blues fans. This kick here from Connor O'Sullivan, who is a defender for the Cats. It's only his 15th game and he hasn't kicked a goal. So he goes back, lines up and completely shanks it. The Bont was an absolute beast in this game on Sunday. As you can see, he steals the ball here from Taranto, who tries to handball it to a teammate. He's able to take control of the ball, and most people would be selfish here. I reckon they would have taken a shot at goal, but the Bont is a bit of a cut above the rest. He knows that his teammate Riley West is there, so kicks towards him, and Riley West takes a very nice one-handed mark, which leads to yet another Bulldogs goal. At least on the broadcast, we could definitely hear that the ball had been touched. Lyman didn't hear it. He was a bit astounded by this, but it was a very nice mark. Unfortunately, Hipwood gave away a free to Stewart after he pushed him in the back, but this would have got Lyman's confidence right up. At the last second, I'm not sure if William saw this, but he saw Curnow out the side there. He sort of hooks the kick, and Curnow, while this mark wasn't probably one of his best, it's still a very nice mark, but the control of body and I guess control of your immediate defender was something that's probably very good for the young forwards of today to have a look at, how he uses his body to make sure that you're keeping your defender at bay, and then just the last second use your body to push them out of the marking contest completely and then take a relatively nice mark, an easy mark. After the Gold Coast Suns, why are they wearing this Guernsey? Anyway, as they run out of their defense, he's tackled and the players sort of stop. They were just waiting for the umpire to make a call for holding the ball, but you can actually hear the umpire say that he got a handball away, or he says handball, so then it's still play on. But it's quite funny to see all the players sort of standing in that vicinity. They knew it probably should have been called holding the ball, and they just stopped, and eventually the umpire calls play on, so they just keep playing. I'd love to know your opinions on this one. As Kane Farrell gets the ball, he fumbles the ball over the point line, And do you reckon this was enough to make it look like it wasn't deliberate? There is an element that this was a mistake, but I think he's purposely fumbled the ball. The defender is within the 9, so leave a comment below. Do you think that should have been a free kick against him? I thought this was another strange no decision by the umpire here. As Merritt chips the ball over the top to Perkins, he probably should have taken this mark in the first instance. He knew the contact was coming, but as the ball bobbles up, the mark is technically still live and Clark bumps him. For me, that should have been front-on contact because he made no genuine attempt at the play. It was just unfortunate that the ball bobbled up. What do you think? Now I'm recording this on Sunday night, so I don't know what the outcome of this one is going to be, but with the way that the game is going where you can take a suspension or you can basically end someone's career like we saw with McGovern, who has recently been medically retired by the AFL, doing these sorts of things where Lynch is not in the contest and he's just almost looks like he's punched or elbowed English in the back of the head. I personally think this should be a suspension. The way it's going, he made no genuine attempt at the ball, so I think the umpire should have paid a free kick and a 50-metre penalty. It was far too excessive for me. This marking contest between Brennan Cox and Will Setterfield was pretty interesting. Will Setterfield's not a small man, but he's just bounced off Cox and it looks like it really hurt. As Mason Wood is lining up for goal, he is a left footer, and he's trying to do a snap around the body from quite far out, which usually you have to absolutely belt the ball to get it done from there. And he's just hit the wrong side of the ball completely, and he's missed the mark by probably about 30-40 metres. Absolute stinker. The nice little fake here from Long, which then gets the ball inside the West Coast Eagles, Gold Coast Suns, forward half. And then Ben Ainsworth is able to kick the goal off the deck. The Gold Coast Suns came out absolutely flying, but somehow still lost the game. The nice little down step, and then he's able to hold the ball in one hand and get it down to the boot. Fraser is pretty impressive for such a young fella. You can see after he sort of just smiles at Liberatore and he's like, I have no idea how that worked. Bailey had a nice little pirouette here. We see this happen fairly often when the player is aware that they've spoiled it, that they can actually go back and then mark it if it's come from a kick. We'll see this several times where a player will punch it and then they have a chance to grab it on the second opportunity to class it as a mark. Some of them don't do it, but Clark was very smart and he did it here. I thought Stevens was extremely lucky here. If he turned this ball over, he would have been in quite a bit of strife from the coach. But you can see that he takes the mark, he tries to play on, falls down to the ground, then Mitch McGovern comes in and luckily for Stevens gets him a little bit high in the tackle. Mitch McGovern does not believe it, but the free kick is probably there. And that's it for this week. Thank you very much for watching. If you've made it all the way to the end of the video, you're a regular, you know that there is always a secret comment at the end. And this week it is Vegas, as in Las Vegas. Put that in the comments below, but be sneaky about it. Don't let them know what we're onto. Thanks for watching. See you next week.